education at home, but my family was very involved in politics, and so I was privileged to hear a lot of discussion and the behind-the-scenes talk that helped me learn how things sometimes had to be done in order to achieve goals, that you couldn't just plunge in, much as I might want to, and get changes made. And I think, from I see heads nodding, that that may be the case for some of you as well. As I grew older, and when I was 17, I was sure that I had received a call from God to do His work. Much younger, I had decided that I was not going to be a wife and a mother, that I had other things to do in life. So when this call came, I knew that there was something special I was to do. But it wasn't until a bit later, when I was privileged to take care of my grandmother and her terminal illness, that I was convinced it was to be nursing. So I announced to my family that I wanted to become a nurse. Parth, my sister, fainted. Mother went into hysterics, and Father just kind of quietly stood by and said nothing. Well, you see, it was the second lowest thing you could let your daughter go into at that time. And so the other reason was that in order to get any kind of an education for it in England, and it would have been a very, very basic nursing preparation, would have been to go to a convent. My family was Protestant, and that just wouldn't be done. Convinced that what we needed to do was establish an honorable profession for women who chose not to marry, were not asked to marry, or perhaps married and then through circumstance needed to become the family breadwinners. We needed that honorable profession for those women, even for daughters of the sort of upper working class, to come up to be able to provide this kind of care, because obviously patients needed the care. And there needed to be prepared people to do this. Military. In 1860, it seemed the right time to use what had been established as a Florence Nightingale Fund to start the first school of nursing and home for nurses at St. Thomas Hospital. That's the one that's right across the Thames from Parliament. And so we started our first school of nursing there with 11 very, very carefully selected young ladies. Of course, they had to be able to read and write. They had to be very healthy. They were going to take care of terribly sick people. They had to be a very good moral standing. I wanted nothing of ill behavior among the young women. You see, many of the people who were providing nursing care were of very low classes. They were desperate women who would take any kind of work at very low pay to do the work. And so there was a very poor reputation. But we wanted to elevate that. And so these young ladies then had to learn how to apply and remove leeches. They had to learn how to give enemas. They had to learn how to turn patients in bed without rolling them out the other side. They had to learn to monitor intake and output, secretions, excretions, ventilations. Does any of this sound new to you? It's been 20 years now since we started that first school of nursing. Many of our graduates have been great demand throughout the country. We've developed public health programs, better care for women delivering at home. And some of our graduates have gone out to the colonies, to Canada, to Australia, and started schools of nursing there. We've come a long way. I can see that we have a long way to go, but we are pleased with the progress that we have made with it. I'd like to change gears, bring you to the present, please. Did any of that sound new to you? Patient-centered care? My goodness, what a concept. Documentation. Florence, from the time she was little, 5 years old, she was writing down what happened. She knew that you had to document well, not because there were the legal issues that there are today, but because it was important to know what you've done in order to know what to do again.